Welcome to part 2 of the RCA 5T radio. Unsuccessfully tried to clean the chassis here with a rag and a screwdriver, trying to get between things here. That's usually how I do it, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'll just wipe it down. I'm pulling the tubes. The numbers were off of this tube anyways. I'm not sure what it is. I got to look on the chart. So I'll put a label on it. Whether it stays on or not, I don't know. But I cleaned it with Windex because it don't matter. The number was off on this tube anyways. I already cleaned the 75 here and pulled that off. This is rubberized coating, rubberized wire, so we're going to redo that off camera, and that I am not going to touch. That feels like cloth. This I'm not sure of. I gotta try to get that out. I don't like twisting them because the cap could come off. Well, we'll worry about that after. Let me get a piece of green wire here. I think I got green. And unsolder this and redo this. I gotta get my magnifier out to do that, so I'm going to have to do that off camera. But I tried cleaning the chassis here, and I didn't get over here yet, but I'm not going to worry about it. You're not going to get rid of, 80 years or 90 years of dirt that easily. So we'll just wipe it down. I used a cleaner on a rag. I could try Windex. I doubt that'll be better. I could try alcohol. But there's no way I'm taking components and stuff like that to clean it. No way. Okay, I got it on. I had to stretch the cap to get it back on again. Little green wire. I had some of that 22 gauge. An 18 gauge that I got at Jewish City Flea Market a couple years ago, Belden. I'm sure glad I bought that. I cleaned the cap up pretty good. That's about as good as I'm going to get it. I cleaned this up as good as I can get it. I'll pull the cap off of this and clean this. Don't do anything fancy. We just wipe it down, that's all. And we'll clean this off a little bit. Make it look a little better and wipe the sides down a little. It's not too bad. I cleaned this tube shield. I cleaned this one. And this is the next one. This is going to be very tricky without breaking this wire because I don't want to go down into here without breaking the insulation. If I have to, I'll put heat shrink over it. Unsolder it here and slide a piece of heat shrink over it. Because I don't think these... Taking these screws out, I don't think these covers actually come off. I think the whole thing has to be unfastened from underneath. I'm not doing that. And I'll try to clean the tuning condenser up a little bit. But I want to get this tube socket done. When I get this done, I'll be back on the video. Alright, I cleaned the cap the best I could. I used cleaner and Windex. Tried to get it the best I could. The best I can do. And... we got I soaked this rag in cleaner and I'm just going over in here. And that's the way I clean them, you know. Like I say, the right way is to strip everything down. There's no way I'm going to do that. This radio would never work again if I ever did that. No way. It isn't worth it, you know. I got some cotton swabs on a stick, a long stick. And I'll probably go in there with some alcohol. This is a 6A7, so I marked that on the chassis. I don't know what this tube is. The lettering came off, but I got to look at the schematic and we can find out. Alright, this is 6D6. There's not much room to mark on the chassis here. So I can mark it on here, I guess. Okay, 6D6 here. We know this is a 75, but I just wanted to mark that, and I marked this even though the tube numbers did not rub off. And this is a 6A7, so the number's still in there. I want to finish cleaning this a little bit. This apparently didn't get disturbed too much. So while that tube is out, I want to just wipe this down a bit, but the best I can do. Other than using steel wool on this, there's no way you're going to get these clean like that. You know, you'd have to take it all apart and put it into a ultrasonic cleaner, which I don't own one, and I don't do things like that. A lot of guys will take the tuning condenser out and put an ultrasonic. Not me. Like I say, if I took this apart, it'll never work again. Alright, I'll try to clean this up a little bit, and I'll be back. Alright, that's the best I can do. I cleaned the tops of these a little bit. Don't want to disturb the wires too much. I cleaned this a little. I can't get in there anymore. Take the rag around the screwdriver or a nut driver with a rag around it and go around. I got to do this area here. I'll do that off camera. I'll pull these tubes and do it. And I'll put some CRC cleaner on this, and maybe I can get rid of some of this stuff. I'm not going to worry about it. You know, that bulb is going to be, I don't know how I'm going to get that out of there. Because the other socket fell apart. I don't want this to fall apart. This bulb does work. I can probably get some Windex in there on a Q-tip and try to clean it up a little bit. It'll give it a little more light out there. But anyways, I'm not going to worry about it. It looks better over here, you know. The best I can do. Alright, so I'll clean this up off camera. Alright, from what I can tell, that's got to be a .01. So I'm gonna try to remove that. I really don't want to. I could take my big wire cutters, you know, diagonals, and cut it in half here and disconnect it here, and then I can take it out in pieces so I can see where that wire is connected. The same could be done with this if I have to, I guess. But this appears to be a .01, so we're going to go with the .01 in there. Alright, that is a .01. It wasn't too bad getting out. After I clip this side, which is the little hook here, right here, that's where I cut it, and the wire comes out under here. Now I'm going to get my magnifier now to see where it was. It's on the top one, not the bottom one. Comes here. It goes up underneath. Alright, boy was I aggravated with this. It was to a point where I was going to just give up on it. I remember these two capacitors. One went to each leg of the volume control. One is a .01, the other one is a .25. And I didn't have too much of a problem getting them out, but boy did I have a job getting it in. I had to pump in so much damn solder to get this to tack in over here. Right down here. What a job. Unless I pulled out the volume control, and I wasn't going to do that because that's rubber coated wire right there, and I'm not disturbing that. But I got them in. This one I'm not attempting. That's buried in here. I'm not attempting it. That's going to stay there. So I looked at the schematic again. I see 22,000, not 27. So that's what I see on the schematic. I don't know if the camera's going to be in focus. I got it on macro. That looks like 22 to me. But it reads 28, 29,000. So That's the story. So I've got a lot of solder. There's some right here. Because I had to just keep pushing it in. I had to put it on the iron and carry it over here. And man, I'll tell you, 10, 15 times I tried it. Held it in place, made sure it was cool, take it off, and it falls off. But that's always been my problem anyways. Another one here, but I got it in, so I'm not going to worry about it. It don't look pretty. I had to find my pointer. I'll end up using my fingers again. This one here, I wrapped it around. I used to do that years ago. I'd take and wrap it 2 or 3 times around the post and just put a lot of solder on it. That came out pretty good. So it turned out to be a good, solid solder connection. So overall, I think we're doing okay on this. I think it's time to put it into the case and see what we can get. But before we do, we got to do something with this line cord here. Obviously, it was just wrapped around. I can't see that. I can see what looks like the wires wrapped around here. I can't see that. So what I'm going to do, this cord is okay, is I'm going to disconnect that, slide some heat shrink instead of using this down on the wires, and then after I solder them on here, then I will slide up the heat shrink and heat them up and shrink them on there. But I'll do that off camera. And I got to check the chassis to make sure I didn't get any solder blobs, because I'll tell you, I must have used about a foot of solder trying to get. This one wasn't bad. This one was trying to be on the coil. I'm not giving you enough light here. Right here. But I managed to put a hook in it and hook it over the terminal of the coil and solder it. That wasn't bad. The worst one was where I got the black spaghetti tubing, which was from the old cap. Soldering that was the worst. And this one. So, okay. So we're going to take care of this line cord. And I was trying to improve what whoever put this cord on, because they had electrical tape here. So when you pull it through like that, I redone this. I took that off, and I'm going to solder that on here. They just had it. He had them wrapped around. They weren't soldered. Maybe you don't have a soldering iron. I don't know. But one wire was here and one wire was here. It's kind of a weird setup. But one goes probably to the transformer and the other one to the switch. I'm not sure. Not sure, but it works, so I'll put it back to where it was. Okay, I got a grommet in here. What a hell of a time, boy. I used to be able to do these no problem at all. Because of my piss poor eyesight, I almost couldn't get it in there, but I got it. And it takes the wire just fine. But the wire now has a little more resistance, so I can put the knot in, but I may still have to put something out here. But I won't have to tape it. Instead, probably I can just put a small, well, I haven't got it real small, wire tie or something. But let's bring it in and put the knot in it. We're not going to put the tape on it. We don't need that. And we got the grommet in there from the assortment of grommets that I had gotten from Harbor Freight. Comes in handy. I've used them a few times. Okay. I had no problem soldering this one. This one, the stud was broken right off. That was the way I got it. I didn't cut it off. So there was a little piece of the switch stud coming out here. So I had to twist the wire that was here and the cord together, solder them, and then tack solder them onto here. So that's it. I don't need any heat shrink on this because it's connected directly to the switch now. So the switch serves as a tone control also, but also a power switch. So that's all I'm going to do now on this.
right, that you could run off the 12 volts from the car. Man, just hook up make up a portable antenna, some lightweight wire, center insulator.
Okay, I've got the chassis cleaned a little bit.
I certainly could.
Not really good, but the best I can do. I take a razor blade too and go over like this, but it does scratch it. Maybe you should try some steel wool on it. I tried a lot of different sprays, and I also sprayed with the CRC cleaner, the tuning condenser.
My sons were up here 2 weekends ago.
I'm not sure how to get that out. I can't imagine you can unscrew that in that position there. I don't want it to fall apart like this socket here.
Grilling, we went into town here in Bethlehem, went to the local brewery. There's actually
But anyways, what I think I'll do is I'll tape this off so it doesn't short out, because this will have 6.3 volts on it, and put it in the cabinet, and hopefully it'll work, because I've been shotgunning the capping. But I've been careful, double checking, triple checking my work. So the radio should work at least as good as it did before. We're going to put it in the case now, after I tape this off, and we'll check it out. Okay, the radio's temporarily in the cabinet. You can see over here, I probably should have showed it to you when it was out of the cabinet. I got a number 47 type of bulb socket in there, and I used some heat shrink, and it's an existing socket that came off of another radio years ago in a bag of parts. You can see I cleaned the chassis. That's the best I can do. We're going around with a long Q-tip and some spray cleaner on the Q-tip, using a rag on the end of a screwdriver and digging away, and a razor blade. So that's really about the best I can do, and I cleaned up the tuning condenser as best I could. It's not perfect, nowhere near it. So let's see if this thing still works.
Have a signal. It's so funny to watch these people swishing a VFO like they're having any effect that are 40 over S9. I don't know. It takes all kinds, I guess.
80 meters, 75 meters.
We have signals, and they don't.
Well, it's got a lot of volume now. Now that's all I'm running is right here. That's all I'm running. I had to turn the main light off. That's why it's a little dark. Let's go to AM here.
Firms in this city have chosen UTOG as their primary carrier. Please visit us at utog.com. That's UTOG.com, or call 718-361-1110 to open a personal or corporate account. Credit card reservations are welcomed.
Code Resnick Advisory Assurance Tax. Code Resnick can help your business mitigate. Visit their...
All right. Very nice. Hey, Rick, man, Shit Talk, thank you so much for writing in. June, look.
Take enough for them?
Material abilities. It's an inward attitude of play free and easy without anything to lose. 30% with promo code Larry, or call 800-890-8.
Communities in good times and in bad since 1859. With a tradition of strength, stability, and service to our communities, we're here for you. Visit us online at mynycb.com.
We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. The Mets lead the Nationals in Washington 3-1, and Seth Lugo is in search.
The dial isn't too bright. Really should be a bulb over here.
Simone Show continues next.
Catch him live tomorrow morning, 10 to noon.
710 WOR. Lately, staying safe has taken top.
And oily stools. The symptoms just
An oily stool?
But EPI can show up with even...
Labor struck out his first time up. Add your friends with organizations like Heart for Lebanon, where...
And let's go back to shortwave here. I guess that indicates the shortwave. All right. We start at 1.8 megacycles, I believe. Ham bands now.
Country at a certain hour. But, you know, it's a bunch of idiots running Collins equipment that they don't know how to operate. Well, most of them are so old that their minds have become feeble, so they don't know how to zero beat. They don't know how to tune a radio. So they're all over the place. So that's what we were dealing with tonight.
Well, that's the ham bands, 3875 or 3885, I'm not sure, but it's in that area. I guess they're having a little problem with other stations going in there 5 kc down from them and interfering with them, so there's a little problem there, I guess. I was listening to it earlier, but the heterodyning was so bad, squealing, they were...
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
I had to turn it off.
Most of these people who attempt to interfere, you know, they're pretty pathetic. You know, they think that because we have big signals, their signal must be big also, but can't be further from the truth. So, but you know, that's you know, these people who have these nets. You know, they're locked on a frequency, and you know, they pay no mind to other stations nearby. It's like, this is our frequency. In fact, they even told us to move after we were on frequency for, at the time there, it was 2.5 hours. So, no such luck, Charlie.
And I'm back. Well, they're like the macaroni net. It ain't no difference. Same thing, bunch of sideband mentality assholes.
I enjoy listening to these guys. You know, this picks up really, really good, considering this is all that we got for an antenna, and the AM standard broadcast band is tremendous. Got the tone control here. When I first turned this on, it didn't come on. I think there's a problem with the power switch, and I did clean it.
They don't give a damn. We can be in there for hours. Yeah, and we'll get on there and say, hey, you know, your interference almost don't hear you. You know, but you can check into the
It's fading in and out, and it goes, gets distorted, but that's normal for the ham bands, and they fade in and out. One is in New Hampshire, I get them really strong. The other one's in Brantford, Connecticut.
Collectors net, they figure that they have their net once a month, So everybody else is supposed to get the air once a month so they can have their net, even though we're on here every night. We're supposed to stop transmitting so they can have their once a month net. Doesn't work that way.
No, it don't, and it never will. Oh, same mentality, Bob. Same mentality. That's what they try to do. They think because they're a net, they're just better than everybody. You know? They don't. They got to be Democrats. They have to be. And I'm sure they all voted for Hillary.
Yeah, love it.
But since I retuned this the right way, I was off. And now that I got it tuned the right way, with the right wattage, I really got it in forward modulation. Not a lot to speak of because of the bandwidth of it. Well, much better. I heard it on the monitor too. Well, all right, George, making dropping comments, trying to disguise his voice. He sounds like a pussy. How's he gonna disguise that?
Yeah, I heard that. That's why I called him out. I could tell it's him. He's a douchebag.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. Ain't that nice? Yeah. You learn CW 20 words a minute, so you have to listen to this shit. Unbelievable, ain't it?
So it's right about 4 megacycles. They're a little. They're
We're
like
having a normal, regular...
3885. So that's in the ballpark. Close enough.
Mixes things up a little bit to listen to the piss ants try to interfere with our big signals.
Oh, piss ants, that's a good description of them.
Piss ants.
This is the entertainment, and it's the first Wednesday. It's the first Wednesday. That's always Hey, this is better than listening to the Democratic Party.
I just heard a sideband station in there trying to make comments. For your benefit, the station on sideband, we're on AM, and so we don't understand what you're saying. So if you want to be heard, switch to AM. Otherwise, you just...
Yeah, switch to AM. There's a little thing on your radio that says, I'll spell it for you. It says AM. Click on that. Otherwise, we can't understand you.
No, Bob, no problem.
Radio's performing really well. I'm very happy with it.
By the time it got this far north, it was pretty far to the west, and it was moving very quickly. So not much at all here. A little bit of rain, a couple of wind gusts, and then it was all over.
Well,
We kind of got creamed here, Bob. Big limbs, 3-inch, 4-inch limbs fell down.
now he's in Brantford,
They had to
Brantford,
go out there and
Connecticut.
saw 'em and get rid of them and
And we got it bad here in Connecticut.
out there getting rid of the twigs and the leaves and branches and stuff. So it was a mess, but
About 800,000 people without
too
power
bad.
in Connecticut.
Up the street, there was a tree fell right across the road. Of course, I'm on a dead end road. Fell right across the road, and they had to cut part of the tree so cars could, get up and down the road. But it's still one side of the road is still blocked off up the street. So it was, unbelievable. And I saw a lot of yesterday. I had to go to the VA for that shot, and came going down. Too bad, but coming back on Merrill Parkway, Route 15. Man, there was trees down. We were dodging trees. It was. I just got a message. It was unbelievable. They had state troopers out there blocking off the road and stuff. We had to come to a stop because trees were blocking the road. It was pretty nasty. But anyway, nothing serious here. Let me check this. I think I just got a text. K1 KBW, 3885 AM. Having wine in the cellar. Whining in the cellar. All right. Well, I can't think of a better place, but I don't know. It's been several days now. Isn't that exciting? Yeah, it's wineries. Wineries in the cellar. I guess that's okay.
Well, let's go to standard broadcast again.
You know what I hope? I hope they're all equivalently good, because that's what we need. We need vaccines not only for the United States, we need vaccines for the whole world.
That was Dr. Anthony Fauci, the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, speaking earlier with Bloomberg's David Weston. More to come on Bloomberg Daybreak.
Tone control.
Several more markets coming.
See, there's a position 1. There's no cap for position 1. It's supposed to be wide open.
It is traffic and weather on Bloomberg 11.
Now this is position 2. There is no cap for position 2, yet it does cut the highs a little bit. And this is position 3.
And no delay on the George Washington Bridge. East Rutherford, New Jersey, Patterson Plank Road blocked with a downed tree in the northbound direction approaching Harmon Meadow Boulevard. Heavy delays.
Plenty of volume.
In the Hudson Valley, we have downed trees.
Plenty of volume. So the only cap I didn't replace is that one that's buried way in the rat's nest under there. But that's the exception. Everything else has been changed. I still think that's a 22,000 ohm resistor, not a 27. I showed that on the schematic. Anyways, this is going to conclude part number 2 of this radio. It's probably quite long, but it's WVGA. So let me spin around the dial a little bit, and then we'll close this video out.
He's playing a doubleheader. Phillies took the first game 11-7. The second game in the bottom of the third tied at 1. And the Mets lead Washington 3-1 in the ninth. Later in the NBA, the Nets take on Boston.
I had a little, I tweaked my hammy yesterday, and I knew it was an ailment, you actually had to go back a little bit further on this. Before the Blue Jays started, I did the same thing, tweaked my hammy before that start. Minor out.
Picks up a lot of stations.
Doesn't appear to have been that aggressive in terms of...
You mean ESFM HD2 Medford.
So you turn the dial right, and then the dial pointer goes left, if you notice that. Because it's a gear drive in here. I like that. Better than dial cord. You know me and dial cord.
Maybe because the velocity is increased.
The president will take executive action to address as much as he can.
On radio.com.
3. Consider Caldwell University. Caldwell University offers nationally accredited graduate programs, including applied behavior analysis, counseling, art therapy.
That in terms of the possible link, this is indeed the state's youngest patient.
This is the youngest person. We can say that definitively, but we can...
Posted at the entrances to make sure travelers from states with high infection rates are following quarantine rules. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows is giving the Senate until Friday to reach an agreement on a coronavirus relief bill. If they don't, he says, President Trump could take executive action.
I don't want to characterize the progress or the lack, but only one finishes on top. Of course, we're talking about Navi and tankless water heaters.
How much the federal bump up in weekly...
in each of our lives in order to uplift our communities by focusing on the churches themselves.
All right. Oh. And maybe that switch, I just put the wires on that switch the way the guy had them. This is supposed to be, now it's off. Now it's on. It's all the way counterclockwise. It did go off. The band switch isn't noisy anymore. There's the shortwave. There's the broadcast. Tone control. This is supposed to be off. So, good thing I didn't bolt it down yet. So, if something's... Either the wires were put on wrong on the switch, or the switch is defective. Because when I first powered it up, the pilot light did not come on at all. So, we got to work on that. So we'll have to unplug it from the variac, and we're running 500 mils at 116 volts because that's what I got it set at. Okay. Thanks for watching. This concludes part number 2 of the RCA 5T radio.